here's your host, Jason Voorhees and Aaron Savage.
Oh, yeah!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports and Metal Podcast. We are your hosts. This is Aaron Savage. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Jason Voorhees. What's going on, Jay?
What is going on?
Not much, man. We have a very special guest tonight. We're looking forward to bringing them out, the band called Skarlett Roxx. But before we get to that, we're going to do a quick rundown, some things that went on this week in the world of sports, a little bit of metal. First of all, let's give a big shout out to our sponsors. Go to www.manscaped.com. Manscaped is the league leader, the MVP, the Muhammad Ali of below the belt grooming. You go to manscaped.com. You're going to use our promo code S&M. That's the letters S&M as in sports and metal. You're going to get 20% off your purchase and free shipping anywhere in the world. Your balls will thank you. Also, check out our other sponsor, La Terrain Watches. You're going to go to LA-TOURAINE.com. That's laterrain.com. Same thing. You're going to use the promo code S&M, the letters S&M as in sports and metal. This time you're going to get 10% off of your order. And these watches are unbelievable. It's Christmas time. Ladies, you want your men to have some nice trimmed up balls, manscaped.com. Get them a nice watch. They're going to be all set for the holidays. So anyway, Jay, on a serious note, tragedy this week in the NFL, 33-year-old superstar wide receiver of Denver Broncos fame, was Peyton Manning's favorite target in his years in Denver, won a Super Bowl in 2015. Demaryius Thomas has died at the age of 33. Shocking news. I was reading today, it looks like he may have had a seizure in the shower.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. One of my favorite all-time wide receivers, to be honest with you. He's a guy that really kind of like, if you look at the 4 or 5 year stretch he had, he put up elite numbers. I mean, you're talking 1,400 yards and over 10 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, he had three. I think he had 3 seasons of 1,300-plus yards and 5 consecutive seasons of 1,000 yards. But, I mean, this is beyond football. The guy was 33 years old, way too young to go. So tragedy. Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. In other football news, the Patriots keep surging. And this week, they win a game. What was it, Monday night's game or Sunday nights? I can't remember. But Mondays against the rival Bills, last year's NFC East champions. And it looks like the Pats are taking the division back. They're, 9-4? As we speak, they're the number 1 seed. And the crazy thing is they won this game. They threw 3 passes. Mac Jones had thrown 1 pass into the fourth quarter, I should say. The irony of all this is you and I just had this huge conversation on last week's show about Mac Jones and is he a system quarterback. My opinion hasn't changed. There's no such thing as a system quarterback. But how ironic is that the week after we have that show, he goes out and he has 1 pass thrown into the fourth quarter. Dude, he threw 3 total passes. In today's NFL, that's insane. It's unfathomable.
Yeah, but to me, that just shows the genius of Bill Belichick. In the snow, bad weather conditions, and the Patriots have a stellar running game, with Damian Harris and Ramondre. So honestly, yes, it's a shock. Obviously, it's hardly probably ever happened, a game where there was only 3 passes, but to me, that just shows you Bill Belichick on his A game once again. And, we can't say enough about the GOAT.
And the thing is, it's not even so much that he showed he was a genius, because I think a lot of us would think this. It's just that he had the balls to do it. Like, I think a lot of people think, hey, this might be a good idea, but they might be afraid to actually, go through with it and face the criticism if it doesn't work. Bill Belichick's never been one to shy away from a controversial move, and more often than not, they work. So there's that. In other news, MLB is still locked out, so we'll leave it at that. Not much more to say. See what's going to happen if this ends anytime soon. And what else you got for us, Jay? Sebastian Bach. I didn't even realize this, dude. He's been touring, and when he's singing "Sweet Little Sister," you remember that lyric? When he goes, "Afraid of doing time, I'll kick an ass on a queer." I don't want to get in trouble, but he's changed the lyric to "Afraid of doing time for spilling a beer." So Sebastian Bach is down with the PC generation.
He's always Yeah, I mean, a guy that's always pushed the envelope, but obviously, you know.
Dude, this is a guy that wore that T-shirt. I'm not going to say what it said, but it's just Sebastian Bach, man. 360, good for him. Good for him. I love Sebastian, but I just wanted to get to that. But anyway, without further ado, let's stick to the metal. Let's welcome our very special guest. This is a young band out of Iowa. They're currently working on their first album. These guys are everything that I like in a band. You know me, Jay. I like glam, sleaze, punk. That's my style. I love Hanwha Rocks, Guns N' Roses, New York Dolls, Faster Pussycat. That's my thing. So this band, immediately when I saw them, jumped out to me. I immediately wanted to have these guys on the show. I'm so glad they accepted our invitation. Please welcome to the show, without further ado, Skarlett Roxx. What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's up?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely, man. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves to our audience?
Let's go.
Me
Yeah.
first?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Caden. I play lead guitar, and yep.
Yeah. I am Deuce. I play rhythm guitar and lead vocals.
And I'm Jax. I play bass and backing vocals.
You
Awesome.
lead vocals too.
Yeah, lead vocals.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
did.
got
I
some
saw.
lead vocals on a new song.
Okay, I saw on a YouTube video you guys were switching off some lead vocals. So
Yeah.
cool. I'm some of the tracks I wasn't familiar with because you only have I think to my knowledge you've only released 2 officially recorded tracks.
Right.
Love Machine, and what was the other one again? Drawing a
King
blank.
of the Dead. Yeah.
King of the Dead. Excellent song. Yeah, that was the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are currently working on your first album. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Tell us about your background. First of all, you guys are a really young band.
Oh,
How
yeah.
old are you guys, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, for legal reasons and
Yeah,
when
actually,
it
we're
comes
all 21.
when it comes to women and all that stuff, we're all 21. But between you and us and the fans out there, you're 19.
I'm 19.
Yeah.
I'm turning 20 on the 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am 17.
and I'm 20.
That's fucking awesome, man. You know why it's awesome? Me and Jay are 46, well, 45. And you guys are doing the things that we love. You guys are into the same music that we are into. And it's so refreshing to see young guys that are into real rock and roll music and not the mumble rap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like we were all raised on it, which is really when it comes down to. I remember back being 4 years old, being sat down in front of the TV, watching Kiss concerts on repeat. And there's a video around somewhere. I was probably about 3 years old, and I'm moshing out in my living room to the Cowboys of Hell music video on VH1 Classic when that was still a thing. And I was butt ass naked. I was 3 years old, going crazy because stuff like that. I was raised on it.
Right.
So.
That's really cool. Your parents did a great job.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys are so Caden, you're from Oklahoma, correct?
No, we're all from Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was going to say you guys are from Iowa, but you're all from Iowa then. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Are you guys still in Iowa, or have you relocated, or?
No, we're all still in Iowa
Yeah.
right now. We're currently we got 2 guys in Cedar Rapids, and then me and Jax are in like the Iowa City area.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And are you guys working with anyone of note on your debut album, or is it a self-produced project?
We recorded 4 songs. The 2 we released, King of the Dead and Love Machine. We recorded those with Ari. He was in Dystrophy, or he is in Dystrophy, and he was previously in OTEP. And we recorded over there with Interlight Studios, and we're currently working with his manager as well, Damon, and he's in LA, and so we're kind of like the children of what Dystrophy is now, and we're working closely with those guys on recording stuff. So.
Cool. When do you
Yeah,
guys
that's
expect
awesome.
the album to be completed?
Sorry, what?
I'm sorry. When do you guys expect that the album will be completed?
We're open 2022.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll definitely be out and done by 2022. Hopefully early 2022. We have 4 songs done and recorded. We're recording some stuff actually here at Caden's place. We got a whole setup in at his house, and so we were trying to kind of upgrade some of the songs that we have right now. So we wanted to get at least 2 new ones done before we're like, okay, this is the track list. Let's get them recorded.
Right.
But yeah, it's coming very, very soon.
Awesome.
It's killer, man. You guys, like I said, you guys have the look. You have. When Aaron first told me that you guys were coming on, I was so excited. Like I honestly, like Aaron said, it's a breath of fresh air to see young guys like yourself playing the music that we kind of grew up idolizing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so hard to find these people, especially in Iowa.
Yeah.
What is it like growing up in Iowa? We're Philly, Jersey guys.
Right.
I don't even know what is it like in Iowa.
It sucks.
Yeah,
It's a bad place. I hate it here.
right now it is pouring rain and it's 40 degrees. It's the weather's always bad. It's either miserably humid or frigid cold.
Sounds a little bit like New Jersey in that sense.
Yeah. Except you guys got some cool cities.
I know. I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what age did you guys kind of realize that you wanted to be musicians? Like, I mean, you all 3 could answer. Like, and when did you pick up an instrument? Like, what age?
I had a microphone in my hand when I was like 4, and I was raised on Motley Crue, Kiss, Alice Cooper, Aerosmith, all that good shit, and it kind of just shaped me into who I am now. I've always wanted to be in a successful rock band. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
His dad is actually a singer too, so he kind of grew up watching his dad do these live shows, and you kind of just
and that's how I met Caden too, through my dad.
Yeah.
I went to one of his shows, and he pulled up on his phone. He's like, "This kid lives down the street," and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Hell
So
yeah.
we brought him down to the show and talked, and we've been jamming ever since. So
yeah. I picked up. I remember getting guitar lessons around the age of 7, but it didn't really stick with me. It was around like middle school for me when I was around 13. I saw Paul Stanley because as a kid I saw Ace in Kiss, and I was like, oh my god, guitar solos are so cool. But then I saw Paul, and I was like, oh my god, I really need to be that guy, center stage, dance around, and for what Paul has done with women, it was like, holy shit.
Oh my God.
I would love to pull women the way he does. So
Well, that's what they say about being a rock and roller. Anybody who says they're not in it for the chicks is lying.
yeah, that's definitely one of my reasons. For me, as I got into it more, and especially like going on stage now, it's still the same way. The adrenaline rush, it's more addicting than any drug ever. It's surreal going on stage and having that initial fear turn into just adrenaline, straight adrenaline, and that is probably my number one reason is doing live shows. I love playing live. And there's so many side perks to it. And I'm still in high school, and I have people come up to me at school and say, "Oh, Skarlett Roxx," and I have no idea who they are. So it's really cool being able to do this at a young age when nobody else was doing it.
right.
Yeah.
It's
And
really cool.
a lot of people like ask if we get nervous and shit. And I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I just have fun. Like, I don't get nervous before a show. Like, I'm just pumped as fuck, like ready to go up. And then when you run up the stairs, get on the stage, and everyone fucking screams, like, it just feels so much better.
Oh yeah, that's what you live for right there. That
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's the ultimate rush.
So I'm curious. You just mentioned the name Skarlett Roxx. How did you guys come up with the name for the band?
So previously, before this lineup, which we will consider the original lineup, me and Jax were jamming with this drummer back way when it started, and we were just jamming, and pumping out like a song or two, and then we were like, all right, we need to put a name to this, and we were taking pictures and stuff and posting them, but we didn't have a name. And me and him like threw some names back and forth. Like we were drawing logos and stuff, and nothing was sticking. And then I'm a fan of, I don't know if you guys have heard of them, Roxx Gang and Skarlett Red are two bands I really love.
Okay.
So I just put Skarlett
Combined.
and Roxx together, fudged with the spelling a little bit, and it just stuck. And then Jax kind of came up with the logo.
Yeah, it was funny because we kind of knew what the logo was gonna
Yeah.
look like. We didn't know what the band name was gonna be.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know, it's actually a great band name. It's an excellent band.
It is. It's actually it's very 80s. Like it reminds me of that 80s. It's just your persona, and it's funny because I was telling Aaron that you guys have the looks of some very famous rock stars. Like you look like Axl Rose, front and center, and then we got Mick Mars in the back.
No,
And then
that's
there-
Joan Jett, man.
Yeah, we always.
No, there's a little Joan Jett there too. You're right.
Thank you.
It's just awesome. Like I said, it's just so cool to see, young guys doing this because we need bands like yourselves to carry the torch and to kind of bring it back.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Let's
kind
get to an interesting question. Now, in your area where you guys are growing up, obviously you guys are into this and you guys are living it, and you guys hooked up. Like the stars aligned, and here you are. Are there other young kids your age that are into the same stuff, or is it just really like few and far between at this point?
Honestly, like where we live is kind of like, I don't know if you'd expect it, but it's kind of like a hick state. So there's a lot of like country fans and stuff here, like that type of stuff. And then the other side of it is just like everyone that follows the pop culture trend and likes rap.
course.
And that.
Yeah.
To take it back, so when we had that drummer, he left for his own reasons, and we were like, fuck, what are we gonna do? Like, like there's nobody like us around here. Like it was, like when I first started playing guitar, I was like, all right, I'm never gonna find anybody in Iowa.
Right.
And then I found Jax, but we put a post out and paid to promote it, saying that we're looking for a drummer. And this kid that we actually all three already knew, he commented on it, and it's Ashton, our drummer right now. And he's like, I've been playing drums since I was 5. Let me come practice with you guys. And I was like, fuck yes, hit up Deuce. And it kind of just took off from there. It was like the stars aligned at the perfect time.
Yeah, and we had this barn that we were playing in, and the day that our other drummer left, we were like, what are we gonna do? And we found Ashton and actually blindfolded him and took him to the barn because
that's how we knew he was worthy. Was
Right.
when we said, okay, we're gonna blindfold you and put you in a car, and you won't know where you are. Okay, yeah, let's do it.
all of our equipment was there.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah,
want-
we didn't want anything stolen. So
Hey man, that's how bands bond. I mean, have you ever heard the story of Guns N' Roses with their Hell tour? Like that was how they solidified the 5 guys who would play on Appetite for Destruction. Like I think Tracy Guns was in the band at that point.
yeah.
Anyway, Duff McKagan got him a little tour up in a bunch of clubs in Seattle, and it was like the first time they were going to be away from home, and their car broke down and they had to hitchhike. And Tracy Guns said, "I'm out," and that's why he had the history's, the history. Tracy Guns isn't in Guns N' Roses. That was like those are bonding experiences. So, yeah, I just it's so cool and refreshing to see you guys talking like this. I want to spread the word everywhere about Skarlett Roxx,
Please.
and I hope that you guys are flying the flag for metal in your neighborhoods in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what is your main influences? Like individually. Or what are your main influences, I should say?
Like ever since I was a kid, my dad is a big influence on me. He's always like his music like interest in general is huge. Like he listens to everything. Same as me. Like I got it right from him. He listens to anything from like death metal to glam to like pop and some of the newer modern metal type stuff. And it's just all pushed forward onto me. And when I was 13 is when I first picked up guitar. And the band that really influenced me to do it was Santa Cruz. I saw the video for My Remedy, and I was like, holy shit, that's what I want to do. Like, play guitar, fucking scream on stage. Yeah.
That's it, man. Awesome.
Same thing as him when it comes to parent wise. I kind of got the same taste as my dad. Obviously, as I said earlier, I grew up on Kiss. So my biggest influence is Paul Stanley and Kiss. I bleached my hair blonde because I love David Lee Roth. Kiss,
Who
Van
doesn't?
Halen, so all of that stuff, a lot of the classic stuff. I know Kate and Ashton are really into a lot of the new stuff, but for me, it's all old stuff, all Kiss and 80s, 70s. So yeah.
Are you guys New York Dolls fans?
I've tried listening to them. I think I've listened to all their stuff on Spotify at least once.
Yeah. Here and there, I love their look.
Yeah.
I respect them because they birthed a lot of the bands that we love.
I think Ashton is a fan of them.
Yeah.
Our drummer, which unfortunately was not able to be here today.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask is I definitely hear a lot of the Dolls in your sound.
Yeah.
And certainly in your look.
It's kind of
intentional or not, I definitely hear a lot of Dolls influence.
It's kind of crazy because a lot of our influencers were 80s, and we try to be, obviously we want to be like ourselves, but a lot of those influences come back on us. But then when we get the music out, once it gets processed through that system, it really comes out as kind of like a mix of like punk and glam.
Right.
And so
that's what I hear. Yeah.
Whenever someone tries to compare us to someone else, it's always like, really? So
yeah, I've never me myself, obviously listening to your own music is like a different experience. Like every time I listen to us, I'm like comparing myself to something else, and I can never find a band that is like, yeah, we sound like that.
Right.
But then other people will come up and tell me like, oh, you sound like this, and I'm like, that's interesting that you think that.
Yeah.
Because me and Ashton are obviously into me and him are into some pretty heavy music, but also the glam stuff of the 80s, and he's really into 90s pop punk, like Blink-182, that type of stuff. And I think that shows in his drumming. And I think all of our influences come together, and it makes a sound that it's pretty unique in my opinion. It's not exactly sounding like the 80s, but it's
I totally agree.
Comes back.
I totally agree, and that's kind of what I was hitting on. I don't just see you as 80s. I hear that. I hear that punk. I hear that 70s. I hear that Dolls. I could see the Blink-182 influence. It's a real mishmash, and it's your sound. I totally.
It's dynamic.
Yeah.
What's
It's
that?
dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what are your guys' plans for the upcoming year? Are you guys planning on touring? You're gonna make it out to Jersey.
That is definitely one of our dreams. I would love to do a tour this upcoming summer. Hopefully we would be able to have our album out by then and then be able to tour for the album.
Right.
For when it comes to shows wise, we don't really have anything set in stone except for April we're opening for Tour and Enough's Enough.
Oh, that's great.
We're doing back-to-back nights with one in Iowa City and one in Des Moines.
Yep.
But that's all
amazing.
That's all. That is really cool.
Yeah, and it was crazy when we got that show too, because it was like a week before we got confirmed for those shows. I was like, "Hey, do you guys know Tortora?" And everyone's like, "Oh my God, yes, we love Tortora."
Yeah.
And Tortora is one of those bands where I grew up listening to Walking Shoes and Amnesia.
Yeah, me too.
And it's crazy to be able to open for one of these bands, that we've listened to since we were born.
That's really cool. I mean, I hope you guys can make it out to Jersey. There's a venue that a lot of the bands that Jason and I are friendly with play. It's called the Landis Theater in Vineland, New Jersey. And I can guarantee you guys get out here, we'll pack that theater for you.
That'd be awesome.
I can promise you that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, guys, Jason and I have a segment we do. Before I
didn't you
get to
wanna-
it, Jay, did you have a question?
Well, didn't you want to play a little bit of the track?
I did. Let's do that. Do you guys mind if we plug one of the tracks on here for a minute?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
No, it's Steve.
All right, this is a track called Love Machine by Skarlett Roxx.
Machine. Kick ass, man.
I'm gonna cut forward to the solo if I can.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
I love the guitar solo in this track.
So catchy, man. Definitely star potential. Hit potential. Amazing.
Yeah, I love the track. I love the solo.
It's just got everything about it is like, you know, the opening riff and then just like the chorus and, you know, the way, you know, obviously you guys are kind of all singing, I'm assuming, the backing vocals. Just it's the perfect mix and you definitely see the punk influence. You know, obviously the glam, but I don't necessarily think it sounds anything. It doesn't sound like Motley Crue, or it's like more. I like it. I love it.
Skarlett Roxx.
Exactly.
And it rocks.
So I did have a couple other questions for you guys before we, you know,
Yeah,
before
go
we
for
move
it.
on. I was just curious as to like who, what was the first concert that you guys ever attended? Like,
Mine was Motley Crue. And in the point, I was like, and I was 4 and yeah, that was a pretty damn good first show.
I can't remember what mine was, man.
You don't remember?
No, I was 4. My dad took
4.
me when I was 4. It was either Kiss or it was Jackal, Ace Frehley, and 38 Special.
Wow.
I love 38 Special. I have to confess.
I think it was those 3, and I remember that night. There was like a whole thing. It was if you're 3 years old, you get in for free, and I was 4. So my dad said, "Oh, you're 3." I don't know. It was something like that. And I remember walking out of there on my dad's shoulder. Well, I wasn't walking, but I was on my dad's shoulder, and Jackal on Lumberjack. They cut up a bar stool with a chainsaw, and I got one of the bar stool legs from Jackal, and I think it was 4. So
Good old Jesse James Dupree.
oh yeah.
And then my first show, I think I was 13, and me and my dad and his friend, we went to go see. They're a punk metal band, a horror metal band called Wednesday 13. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I haven't, admittedly.
Awesome band.
Yeah, like Alice Cooper, but heavy.
Okay.
Really good. It was super cool. I got to meet all the dudes in the band, except the singer, of course, because he's got to rush off or whatever. But it was a really
got
fun.
lead singer syndrome.
I'm guilty of that one.
Yep, right here.
It's funny because you mentioned Alice Cooper. I believe it was Deuce. I read that one of the first songs that you learned or tried to learn was Poison.
Oh yeah.
That's actually my favorite Alice Cooper song of all time. Like,
Very good.
I loved that era of I mean, I love all Alice Cooper. Who can't? I mean, the guy's a genius for what he did, obviously in shock rock and kind of the showmanship that he puts on. But that era of Alice Cooper to me was my favorite. Like those three albums through, you know, like Trash, Hey Stupid, and then I believe
I love Last Temptation.
Well, Last Temptation is a little bit more, but I noticed some Alice Cooper in you guys too as well. It's funny that I see that influence.
For me, I really wanted to have a symbol to kind of, because I remember one of the first shows we did, a manager for some band, I don't remember, it was like, you guys, everyone says that gimmicks are bad, but the more gimmicks, the better. And I hate spiders in person, but I think spiders are cool. So I started painting a spider on my eye for shows and stuff, and that's like a symbol that I've really grown attached to. It's something. Once I paint that spider on my eye, it's something goes through me, and that was really inspired a lot by Alice.
Yeah, I can see that.
Specifically, the "Welcome to My Nightmare" album, start to finish. That album is a masterpiece in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah. Hey, while we're talking about first shows, I'll tell you mine. I've told this story on the podcast once before, but I love telling it. All right, my first show was 1987. I was 11 years old, and it was Great White and Whitesnake at the PNC Art Center here in Homedale, New Jersey. And the biggest memory I have, we were in the lawn seats. It was pouring rain like a monsoon. And I was with my mom and my sister. My sister was 8. And I had a single mom, so she just took us. And pouring rain, and more so than the smell of the weed. What I remember is when David Coverdale introduced the band, and when he got to Rudy Sarzo on the bass, and he goes, and on the bass guitar, this man has sucked more titties than any other man on the face of the earth, Mr. Rudy Sarzo.
Probably.
And I was with my mom, so I was mortified. I was so embarrassed. I was with my mom. That's my first concert, but great concert, by the way. That was when Whitesnake had that 87 masterpiece out. What a show it was. So
That's one of the best stories I've ever heard. It never gets old.
Yep. Anyway, guys, so now let's get to it. With Jay and I, every week we do a segment called the Picks of the Week. It's just every week we pick something, whether it's an album or a concert or a rock documentary that we think everybody should check out. We'd love you guys to stick around and listen. And if you have any opinions, chime in on it,
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, Jay, you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So my pick of the week has a lot to do with you guys being on the show. You guys just really reminded me of it. Back in 2004, Velvet Revolver had just come out with their first album, Contraband, and I saw them at the Starland Ballroom here in Jersey, and this band called River City Rebels opened for them. Now, they're not like a glam metal band as much as you guys are. They're more of like almost like a punk rock band, but with a lot of glam influence. And this was their fourth album. It had just come out when I saw them. It's called Hate to Be Loved, and they opened for Velvet Revolver. I had never heard of them prior to that, but I was blown away by them. I love them because, again, I love the glam style. I love the 70s rock, the 80s rock, and they just had that. They had that punk. And little did I know at the time, but this album, Hate to Be Loved, was produced by Sylvain from the New York Dolls. He actually produced this record. So it's called Hate to Be Loved. The band's called River City Rebels. It's got a ton of great tracks on it. The title track, Hate to Be Loved, is an amazing track. I'm trying to think. Oh, Hurt Like I Do. I couldn't remember the name of the track. Opening track, Hurt Like I Do. It's like you just hear the pain in his voice. It's an amazing track. Cloudy Times is great. I'm So Vain is great. I mean, you could listen to the first 8 tracks on this record straight through, and they all kick ass. And honestly, guys, their sound does remind me of your sound a little bit. You know, they don't have so much of the 80s metal image, but there's a lot of your sound that I hear in them. Not exactly, because, again, you guys are you and they're them. But you guys reminded me of this band, and that's why this was my pick of the week. And, again, this is a band that just, for the same reasons, just hit me at that time when I saw them. I'd never heard of them, and I was just blown away. And, again, little did I know they were produced by Sylvain from the New York Dolls. So I must have been on to something. So I would definitely recommend everybody check this out. It's River City Rebels. The album came out in 2004, and it's called Hate to Be Loved. That's my pick of the week, Jay.
Do you know where they're from?
They're actually from Vermont,
Wow.
I believe. Yeah. Yep. Crazy, right?
Not you don't see a lot of stuff out of Vermont.
No, not at all. Not at all. Definitely look them up and check them out. I actually think you guys would dig it.
Cool.
You know, it's not metal. It's there's a little bit of metal there, but there's some ska. You know, there's a lot of punk. There's definitely a lot of New York Dolls influence, and it's total glam image. I think you guys would dig it.
Cool.
So, what do you got for us, Jay?
Dude, that's an awesome pick of the week. And I
Thank you,
actually
man.
do remember we did see them. They opened for a band that we saw.
Velvet
So,
Revolver. Velvet
yeah.
Revolver. Yep.
So I do a segment every year called, the top 20 albums, where I pick, my top 20 albums of the year in metal. And this album, no doubt, is going to make my list, and I can't seem to find it. But anyway, my pick of the week is the Black Veil Brides. Brand new album, just came out in October. It's called Phantom Tomorrow. It's a concept rock opera. And let me tell you, I've always liked Black Veil Brides, but I never really could get into a full album by them for some reason. It wasn't just, I don't know if it was the style or whatever, but to me, this album, every track from the whole album is kick ass. I mean, honestly, begins with is our sound not? Is your sound coming out?
I hear you. You're all right, Jay. Go.
All right. Anyway, it's a kick-ass album. I don't know if you guys have heard it. I know you guys love the Black Veil Brides. To me, the best track. You know how generally, like when an album comes out, the better songs are generally in the top of the album for the most part. I mean, you have exceptions to that rule, especially when a masterpiece is put out where every track is good. But I would say that this is an album where the bottom half of the record matches the top half. It's just musically, I would say it's probably their most diverse record that I've heard. I mean, I see all kinds of elements. I see some thrash even in there. I see, metalcore, a lot of metalcore. Obviously, it has the classical, and because of the opera that they produced on it. But that's my pick of the week. It's Phantom Tomorrow by Black Veil Brides, and it's definitely going to make the top 20 album list for this year.
You guys into Black Veil Brides?
I personally, I don't. I love the first Black Veil Brides album. I listen to I Don't Care, and what's the other song? It's oh shit, the wrong band. So I don't know.
All right, yeah, they actually don't like Black Veil Brides, but me and Ashton love Black Veil Brides. They're a total I don't know. I love everything they've put out from the beginning. It's a total
awesome.
It's a comeback of the glam from the '80s with a new sound.
And awesome.
Yeah.
Black Veil Brides.
Actually, we have the city right here. Yeah. Set the world on fire.
Awesome.
Someone asked a couple times.
Anyway, guys, I think we're having a little trouble with our audio with you. So, guys, we're having a little trouble with the audio with you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, and we hope you get out to Jersey. We'll touch base again, and maybe we'll have you back on in a few weeks, and we'll see what's going on with the record. I'm not sure if you could hear us, guys, but thanks again for coming on. Well, Jay, Skarlett Roxx was great. We started having a little bit of bad audio with them. We're very grateful that they were able to make it on the show. Everybody's got to check them out. The band's called Skarlett Roxx. They're working on their debut album, band out of Iowa. We're fans. Dude, once again, it's been a wonderful show, man. As always, dude, man. It's a pleasure.
Dude, they were kick ass, man. Like, just I mean, I hate to rehash it, but it's so refreshing to me. Like I said, like if they could just come. I think they just popped back in.
Let's see what we got.
All right, we're back.
Hey, you guys back?
All right, yeah. I think we had an issue with the phone or something.
Yeah, we had a little audio problem. We were trying to work through it. But yeah, listen, we want to thank you again for coming on the show.
There we go.
We were just rehashing the fact that it's refreshing to Aaron and I that you guys are carrying the torch.
Oh, we lost them again. That's all right. Well,
I don't want to.
Yeah,
they might pop back in.
They may.
What a show, man! Like honestly, it was just cool. Hearing the stories of, young musicians and how they, pick up an instrument and just, how they get into the music that they get into.
Here they are again. Welcome back again.
All right.
Welcome back a third time.
What's going on?
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
I'm not even in the shot. Here we go. That's great.
All right.
Third
We got
time's
you.
a charm.
No, basically, Jay and I were just rehashing how refreshing it is, what you guys are bringing to the music scene, what you guys are bringing to the table. We want to keep flying the flag for rock and roll. We want to continue to promote bands like you that kick ass and get it. And we really, most of all, want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us. It means a lot.
Yeah, it means a lot to us. And, we're going to keep track of what's going on. Please keep us updated with what's going on with the album.
For sure.
Feel free to reach out to us anytime. We'll plug it on the show. And honestly, let us know if you guys are going to be coming around on tour. If there's anything we can do to help, we would love to do that. And if you guys can send us an address off the air, we'll see if we can send you a Sports and Metal t-shirt.
Cool.
Oh, hell yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, or I should say 4 Sports and Metal t-shirts.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That would be kick ass. The
Yeah,
idea
yeah,
of
you guys
sports
can
and
rock 'em
metal
on
together
stage.
is
What's
fucking
that?
awesome.
What's that?
I said the idea of sports and metal podcast, that's like my 2 favorite things. So that's
Yeah,
great.
you know what? We started having the bad audio at the end, so we really didn't get a chance. I was going to ask you guys, since you're back, I'll do it. This is Sports and Metal. You guys are into sports?
Half of us are. Sadly, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, so you know the hell I go through every week. So
Well, I'm a Mets and Dolphins fan. Miami Dolphins and New York Mets. So the last 25 years have been rough.
yeah.
For me,
It's been rough for me longer than you guys have been alive.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Colts, Lakers, and Dodgers. So
Okay,
a lot of stuff in LA.
cool.
And
Nothing
then
wrong with
I'm
that.
really, when I was young, I was a big fan of the Rams, and I really stopped watching football like 5 or 6 years ago, but I was a really huge fan of the Broncos.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. Well, dude, that's really cool. We're glad you guys are like the idea, the concept of the show. We hope you guys follow the show. And like I said, send us an address where we can send you shirts. We hope to see you rocking those shirts on stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Dude, if you guys could play at the Landis, you would be absolutely blown away. It's one of the best venues that we've seen a concert. And
It's a great venue. It's a great venue.
I definitely, I'm definitely plugged in. So, like I said, if you guys are going to be able to do tour, let me know, and then I could talk to the Landis and get a hold of somebody and
Cool,
try
man.
to get
Thank
you in
you.
there.
Yeah, so keep us posted on your plans, okay?
Definitely.
sure.
For sure.
Thanks again, guys, for coming on the show. As always, Jay, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again to Skarlett Roxx. Make sure you check out all their tracks that they keep releasing on Amazon. Wait till the record comes out. And as always, rock on.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.
And that's our show. Tune in next time for more Sports and Metal. And that's our show. Tune in next time for more Sports and Metal. With Jason Voorhees and Aaron Savage. Woo, yeah! Got something to say? Hit us up at sportsandmetal0423 at yahoo.com.